Hi, everybody. It's meteorologist Joe Cioffi on this Thursday. I'm going to be doing a live stream now. One of the things I guess maybe you folks might have to get used to is the fact that when we have these snow events, I'm likely to sneak in a few, let's call them emergency live streams. And we do have, a very interesting sequence of events. The last night when we looked at the zero-Z model runs, they really weren't showing very much, if anything at all, as everything was pretty much out to the east. And one of the things that I was talking about yesterday was the fact that northern stream in the northern part of the jet stream was basically overwhelming everything and just kind of suppressing it all out to the east. Well, the models have now kind of adjusted to the fact that the northern part of the jet, rather than just kind of swinging out to the east and pushing everything out, is becoming a more north-south tilted. It seems to be reacting to an upper air low that's to the north of it, and rather than just getting it kicked along, it's sort of lighting up more north-south, and that's going to be enough to pull this frontal boundary back westward and closer to the coast. The NAM showed that yesterday in the afternoon and then kind of backed off on it. And, during the night when we got the mid-cycle runs, it went the other way. And now we have the second run in a row that's doing this. I want to start first off with the satellite loop, because you can see the whole frontal boundary where it is. It's not really that far away offshore. And we'll show you right here. You can see that streamline of clouds down from the southern parts of the Delmarva all the way down southwestward through the southeastern states, through the Gulf states, and through Texas. And there are going to be some places that are normally don't see snow for years at a time, including near New Orleans, for example, and parts of southeastern Louisiana, as that cold air is really wedged down pretty far to the south. But this is a fairly impressive subtropical jet that's there. And in fact, you can see the moisture starting to grow even more back through Texas and Louisiana. So, that part of the table is set. And then you've got the north that's going to get involved. So let me pull up we'll start with the NAM model, and then we'll go to the GFS. And, all right, mouse trouble. Let me get this moving up here. And we'll move that up to the top, and I'm going to put the freezing precipitation. We'll go with the NAM first, and there you have it at the end. So we'll start from the beginning. First of all, quick good morning to Thunderman, Kenny, Alicia, Cynthia Gwynn, Yadis, Robert Russo, no beef with you. And yes, the kitty is back to normal. Thank God. Okay, so he's taking a nap. So here's our NAM model, and we're running it forward. So obviously there are no issues here through Friday evening, and you can see the moisture building up. Now notice, look at that snow that it has down in southeast Louisiana and through much of southern Mississippi and in through Alabama and even through North Georgia. That wave continues to run northeastward. You get these sort of pieces that come out, and here's the main area, and you see that northern low, that surface low that's in Michigan. That's the northern stream, and as it's dropping in more north-south as opposed to more northeast-southwest. So the surface low is east of North Carolina by 10 o'clock Saturday morning, and we've got snow into southern Connecticut, north and west of New York City, back to about Philadelphia. That's the back edge. The accumulating snow is probably going to be further to the east. And there's your wave that runs along northeastward, but you've got this large area of moisture that just buckles back westward. So right along, I think what I'm thinking right now is if in terms of being comfortable with what to forecast in terms of snow amounts, we're looking at anywhere from a coating on the northwestern edge to, I think there could certainly be every bit of a few inches for coastal New Jersey, Long Island, and south coastal Connecticut, and for southeastern New England. The first one's always kind of tough because you're trying to see how these systems behave, and it's it's the first one we've seen since back late last winter. This is for now 10 p.m. Saturday, and now we're at 1 a.m. Sunday morning, and Boston's getting it, Providence. So much of southeastern and eastern New England do very well with this as the low runs up toward Nova Scotia. We'll go to the GFS model, and the GFS, also at the mid-cycle run last night, came back westward, and it's doing it again on the 12Z. It's very, it's consistent. It's actually a little bit further to the left than the prior run. There's your snow on the western edge Friday night into places like, there's southeast Louisiana Friday evening. But it has snow down to coastal Mississippi and Alabama, and on up through Georgia, even up into Atlanta, western North Carolina, interior Virginia, except for the southeast and the northwest. You got that band in the middle. This is Saturday morning, and there's your wave. The GFS is a little bit faster with this as it pulls away to the northeast. So let's go to the. I'm going to go to the upper air, because that really illustrates what's happening here. That northern trough really is everything in all of this. You've got the south pretty well locked up with all the moisture in that shortwave. And you can see the trough. See that in the northern part that digs down near Chicago? It stays almost straight north-south now. It's not tilted north, northeast, south, southwest, where it would kick that southern stream energy along. So it's able to lift that up, and it progresses eastward, but it has a sharper look to it. It almost is trying to lift it up more northeastward than eastward, and that makes all the difference in the world in this. It's a subtle change in what the models were doing, but in a game like this, subtlety is everything in terms of what could happen. And now you're seeing, by the way, the beginnings of the deep trough that's going to be dropping down for Tuesday of next week, which we are going to, we're going to address that separately after we get through this first thing, because there's just too much to look at. I'll show you, I'm going to put you the snow map. I just want to let you know that there's missing data on the snow map, and this is an NSEP problem. It's not necessarily a model problem. But here's the snow totals, and you can see it printing up 2, 3, 4 inch amounts even down into parts of Mississippi. Now, that may be overdone. You probably would want to cut these in half. Then you've got some snows in the western half of North Carolina in through Virginia, the Delmarva Peninsula, and then on up further north and east we go, and I'll go tight on this. This is the GFS again, and I'll show you the NAM also. But here's the GFS, and this is based on basically 10-to-1 melted ratio. So, you've got snow being shown pretty far north and west, and you can see it also is fairly bullish with at least a few inches for southeastern New England. So I think the best way to approach this in terms of a forecast is wherever you see all this fuchsia, I guess if you want to call it that, or purplish color, the whitish purple, I would put that whole band in the possibility of a few inches with lesser amounts to the north and west. Depending on temperatures, which should certainly be cold enough, it's very cold aloft, and the bottom of the atmosphere will cool down to freezing or below as long as you have intensity. And I think you're going to have intensity in the areas that are further to the east. So that should prevent losing snows to ground melting and that sort of thing. The warm ground concept is a misnomer. It's really a function of intensity. If you're snowing lightly and it's in the mid-30s, you're not going to see much accumulation except maybe on the coldest surfaces. But if you're dealing with a steady, moderate snow rates, then you're going to more than compensate for that, and the bottom of the atmosphere will cool down, and you'll see temperatures drop into the low 30s and maybe even the upper 20s. I wouldn't at all be surprised to see that happen. So it looks to me, I'm going to, of course, you want to see the European do the same thing. That's not going to be out for another couple of hours, but at least for now, it certainly looks like the GFS and the NAM are definitely on the same page, and I would probably say that the Canadian will join. It's odd that the Canadian and the Canadian and the NAM were the ones that were kind of sticking with this idea most of the time, although they both backed up and then came back the other way. Thunderman reporting, yes, thank you. Northern UK getting 91 mile an hour winds. My goodness, that is incredible with that storm Caroline that is moving through. I'm going to be interested to hear what kind of snows you guys get up your way. So keep me posted on that. And by all means, stay safe. So we're going to keep this live stream is going to be on the short side. We will come back tonight at 6 o'clock Eastern time, and we'll have all the new models, and we'll have the European, we'll have the mid-cycle run GFS and NAM to see if they're consistent. We're getting now inside that 60-hour time frame, so models are going to start having the variations are going to be smaller and smaller. There's always the chance that maybe the model is not going to be correct with this idea of how the Northern Jet is behaving, but as each run goes by, confidence is going to get stronger. And yes, Howard, broken clocks are right twice a day. That is correct. So let's leave it here. I will update you on the website, meteorologistjoecioffi.com, and also join me on Facebook as well. And you can find those links on the banner right here on my YouTube channel, the head of my YouTube channel. There are links in the lower right corner for Facebook, website, Google Plus, and Twitter. And I'm always doing something somewhere. All right. Have a great day, everybody. We'll talk to you later.